Mexico's really in trouble, a lot of trouble. Very dangerous place. And we're going to be announcing a future date pretty soon. We're going to change because we do most of the work there and it's ours. We're going to be changing sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name. And it's appropriate. It's appropriate. So we're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Welcome everyone to the Hurting Humanity channel. You heard that correctly. After Donald Trump once again started talking about Canada becoming the 51st state, after he mentioned that Greenland and America need to become one, now we're hearing Donald Trump openly say that he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And why is that important? It's just a name, right? Oh, it's important, all right. Because what we're seeing is exactly what I talked about in my previous videos, one of which is over on my Nations Conspire channel for a bigger breakdown for anyone out there that wants to know about the 10 kingdoms and the Club of Rome and exactly what this blueprint is. I'll get into it a little bit later in the video, but my breakdown is over on the Nations Conspire channel, so make sure you're subscribed. For anybody out there that's wondering, I have multiple channels. I have to hop around because this is the type of content that they actually censor. They don't censor the alt-right media. They pretend to be censored. They pretend that they get videos removed for talking about gender ideologies and all this nonsense that they focus on. They're trying to remove people that take you out of the left-right paradigm. So my other channel is Nations Conspire. For anyone that's subscribed to Rebel Call, that channel got hit with a strike the other day after a video was only up for a few hours talking about the CIA and Hollywood and how these actors are nothing more than CIA operatives. So I highly recommend you sub to all my channels. But it is important to note about the Gulf of America because what we're seeing all of a sudden, within 24 hours on January 6th, this all started. On January 6th, that day they covet so much that they told us that democracy died, even though we're really in a republic, we are now seeing the end of sovereignty. We have seen Justin Trudeau strategically be told to step down on the 6th as Congress acknowledges and doesn't deny Donald Trump winning the election because, remember, they begged you to go and give your consent for this. They begged people to vote, knowing that the majority of Americans would vote for Donald Trump, begging for your consent. Your consent to be governed is what it was all about. And now that you've all gone, not you guys who subbed to my channel, but the majority of the sheeple out there who think that they're fighting the New World Order don't even realize that they just voted for the installment of the North American Union, which is the first leg in really building out the New World Order. This is part of the Great Reset. Donald Trump is controlled opposition. He was installed to usher in the New World Order. While they've been playing to you by driving you irate, by talking about things like children getting castrated and who's what gender and how do you define gender and how do you define pronoun, they've done that deliberately so that you would beg for the insanity to stop. And what you've really done is actually beg for the implementation of the New World Order. Now, this was going to come no matter what. But what they've done here is they've distracted you with nonsense, thinking that Trump is anti-globalist when, in fact, he is Mr. Globalist. He is Mr. New World Order. And for all these clowns out there that continually say that Trump is playing 6D chess, this is the narrative for anyone out there wondering. The conservatives believe that Trump is playing 6D chess, that he steps ahead of the globalists. He's only doing this because he's outsmarting them. And this has been their narrative, their talking point for years. Oh, Trump and Elon, they're double agents. They're playing 6G chess. They're doing some bait and switches. Trust the plan. This is all part of the plan, all part of the government-created Q plan. I mean, literally, they could show Trump in bed with 100 missing children, and these people would say that it's a part of 6D chess. They're not going to wake up if they haven't already. So the Gulf of America, Trump says he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico, and of course, your other government operative, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is another actor put in charge, has already come out and said that she's going to introduce a bill to officially change the name of the body of water which runs from Mexico along the southern part of the United States. In addition to that, you may want to hear this quote from Donald Trump, because he openly talked about using military force to take over Greenland and the Panama Canal. If they are not doing as Trump says, he will not hesitate, he says. He will not rule out military force against them. Listen.
Thank you. Wanted to touch on the world on fire that you mentioned, but let's start, if we could, with your references to Greenland and the Panama Canal, so forth. Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your plan is? Are you going to negotiate a new treaty? Are you going to ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this. We need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something. Look, the Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift.
So how this is happening right now in front of us and people aren't seeing it is really hard to fathom. But I guess when you're in a deep psychosis, when you've convinced yourself that you could see Donald Trump literally wearing a New World Order t-shirt, that you will think that he's actually playing both sides. This is the narrative, again, that the conservatives have used over the years, right? Him going to the World Economic Forum, them not expecting conservatives to react the way that they reacted. Oh, Trump went to meet with Klaus Schwab, shake hands with him and tell everyone what a wonderful job he's doing because Trump's playing him. He's playing 6T chess with these people. They're fools. They don't see, they don't get what Trump's actually doing, but we do. No. You're the fools who don't get what's actually going on. In fact, you're on the same wavelength right now when it comes to critical thinking as people who are castrating their 5-year-olds. Just about the same. I mean, I don't know which one's worse. I mean, obviously castrating a 5-year-old, but to think that you're awake and watch what we're seeing unfold is incredible. Now, if you're not awake, now's a great time to wake up, because all the things that Trump just said are all part of the New World Order blueprint, as I mentioned earlier in my videos, okay? This is the annexation of Canada, Greenland, eventually Mexico, and the Panama Canal. This brings about the New World Order American Union, which is planned, the North American Union, and this is a part of the Great Reset. It's literally the genesis of the one world government. This new colossus, so to speak, where America becomes the biggest, baddest bully on the block. And everyone's going to say, that's great, because America's been embarrassing over the last couple of years, right? Because, of course, they've told you to think that America is embarrassing over the last couple of years. The things with Afghanistan, leaving troops behind, leaving our weaponry behind, all the money we've given to Ukraine, all the stuff we've seen with the military and pronoun trading, all the stuff that they've told us through the conservative media of how nobody respects America anymore. So MAGA is drooling. They are cheering. Yes, make America a colossus. We want America to be the strongest country. And they don't even realize that, for starters, by doing all of this stuff, okay, by America and Greenland and Canada and Mexico becoming one, that this is what they planned from the get-go in order to shut down the U.S. economy. It's a gradual shutdown. Okay, the Committee of 300, organized in 1968, the purpose was to accelerate the New World Order and have it in place by the year 2000. In 1976, the United States Association of the Club of Rome was formed for the purpose of shutting down our U.S. economy gradually. With these countries merging together, it might sound like it's going to be better for America because America will be bigger, America will be better. It will be worse for citizens in this country. They might tell you temporarily that your taxes will go there. They'll tell you all the things that you'll want to hear so that you'll without even having the slightest clue, think that this is great for you and accept it. And then you'll realize when it's too late that you've been duped. That, oh my gosh, wow, really, Trump was one of them all along. But I heard that my taxes were going to be less. I heard that we were going to get rid of some of these scumbags in Congress because Elon Musk was going to clean them out. We were going to get rid of these people and this wasted money that our tax dollars go towards. This right here is the Bilderberg Group plan. This is the Committee of 300 plan. This is the Trilateral Commission plan. You're seeing it acted out, and Trump isn't even sitting in office yet. Remember when all the conservatives were the ones who were screaming that the Democrats were going to bring in the New World Order? When they were openly talking about a liberal world order. We had Biden, liberal world order. Obama, liberal world order, right? And all the conservatives were screaming, we will not be a part of a new world order. We do not want a liberal world order. Well, of course, how convenient that it's coming in the face of a conservative world order. Because guess who's going to be blamed once everybody realizes what's going on? You and me, conservative Christians, right? Even though we don't vote, even though we don't identify as Republicans, Christians will be blamed. Don't forget all of the stuff that we saw on the media after Trump won the election. Everybody, including me, was expecting the media to come out and deny the election results, even though it's fake and it's planned. I expected fully that they were going to come out and deny it and play into this with the digital ID of, we got a close call on this state, we got a close call on that state, we can't get an accurate read. What did they do? They came out and said Trump won in a landslide. The next morning, the mainstream media didn't question the outcome like they did in 2016, like everyone was expecting. The mainstream media came out in tears and they said, this is what the American people wanted. We warned you. We warned you about this. We did everything we could to try to stop the American people, which is not true at all. Of course, the media knows because they're working with the CIA and they're working with, they are masters of mind control and manipulation. They knew that every single thing that they did over the last 8 years to victimize Trump and to start taking free speech away from conservatives, all that stuff was going to work in a landslide where people were going to beg for Donald Trump to come back into power. They did that all psychologically, knowing that you would go and vote for Donald Trump, knowing that Donald Trump would be put into power so that they can now blame you and your conservative ideologies for the destruction of America that is coming. That's why they were on the news the next day and they were all just saying, we tried our best. We did everything we could. They didn't deny it. Kamala didn't deny it. All of a sudden, nobody's denying it. Everybody's on board because that's what the plan has been all along. And 2 weeks before even getting inaugurated back in, Donald Trump is making declarations about taking over other countries. Literally, he's talking about taking over Greenland, taking over Canada. And you would think that a light bulb would go off and these people would say, whoa, wait a minute, we're America. I thought all the Democrats that were calling us Nazis and calling us fascists, we were all calling them crazy years ago, right? Now all of a sudden Trump is changing his tune. He literally is talking about taking over other countries. He's talking about taking over the Panama Canal, right? By telling people out there that China is running the Panama Canal. Okay, and they believe this stuff. They're like, oh yeah, China's running the, how do you know China's running the Panama? Oh, well, because, China, bought out part of it and gave money to Panama, so they're really running it technically, right? So what does this do? It makes conservatives want Trump to take over the Panama Canal. It makes conservatives want Trump to take over Canada when they see Justin Trudeau and they say, we feel bad for them up there. And wait, what? We could get less taxes and things will be cheaper and they have a lot of energy and resources that we could take. Okay, right? And when I say that the media deliberately did all this stuff to make people love Trump more, that's how psychological operations work. You don't think by them attempting to assassinate Trump multiple times that it doesn't make the common sheeple like Trump more? It makes the common sheeple not only like Trump more, it makes them in their eyes more validated. They think that, wow, Donald Trump really must be trying to do this and trying to stop this. He really must be going after these people. They hate him so much so they're trying to kill him. But somehow, thankfully, God intervened, right? And stopped that DARPA magic bullet from hitting Trump because he's going to save us from the swamp. In fact, more people are going to fall away from their faith when they start realizing what Trump actually is, because they're correlating their faith in man with their faith in God. And they don't even have the slightest clue that they're idolizing Donald Trump because they don't believe that they're actually idolizing him. We see these people walking around with golden statues of Donald Trump. You say, this is idolizing. They go, that's not idolizing. They're wearing shirts. Jesus is God. Trump's my president. All these things that pretty much put Trump and Jesus on the same exact pedestal. And then they go, well, I'm not doing that really. I'm not idolizing Donald Trump. They're wearing his shirts. They're buying his shoes. They're crying when they see him. They're going to his rallies. That's the definition of idolizing. It's no different than the fans you see at the Taylor Swift concert. You see, they just can't see it because they've become narcissists themselves and they refuse to actually see the truth. And the truth is unfolding right in front of us, like we all warned everyone that it would. The Club of Rome and the 10 kingdom global world system is literally underway. It's underway. And they're going to market this to people. Like you'll hear the liberal media, I'm sure, talk about, oh my gosh, like Trump's crazy. He's going after these people. He's shutting the Mexico out, right? Which eventually I still believe, even though the map doesn't have Mexico as a part of the North American Union. Like I said previously, it has it a part of the South American Union. I think Mexico will be a part of it, but I think to start, it'll help implement the digital ID because more conservatives will be like, we need the digital ID to keep the Mexicans out. We don't want them in here, right? Because they've been convinced that they're a problem. They're causing all these crimes. They're part of the drug trafficking, even though the CIA is responsible for all the drug trade. So in the beginning, they'll probably do it that way and keep Mexico out. And then, of course, Mexico's government will crumble, Mexico will crumble, and America will probably swoop in and save Mexico and bring it over. But for the time being, they could build the wall with Mexico, and then they could have the digital ID implemented with Canada and Greenland now and North America. And who knows where else they might scoop up or who else they might scoop up into this, because this is the blueprint from 1973, which, of course, could obviously change and evolve as time goes. I mean, that's about, 50 years ago now? 52 years ago that this blueprint was put in place, and now it's really coming to fruition. It's coming to fruition with the guy who's supposedly anti-globalist, and of course, they've brainwashed his audience into thinking that he's playing 6D chess, so he's ahead of everybody, right? Guess who's going to be blamed when these people wake up to what's actually going on? You will be, and I will be. But most of these people won't even see it. If Trump came out and admitted he's a globalist, they would say he's trolling. If Trump wore a New World Order t-shirt on television, they'd say he's trolling. If Trump came out and said, I'm a globalist, they'd say he's trolling. If Trump came out holding hands in lingerie with Klaus Schwab, they'd say he's trolling. They're so convinced that they're right about Donald Trump, that he's playing 6D chess, that he can literally build out this New World Order, which he will and is, with the AI governance that Elon Musk is going to bring in, and they still will deny it. It's incredible. I mean, it's really incredible to watch how quickly this has happened in days. Since January 1st, PSYOP, false flag. Now look where we've moved within a week of that. Within a week of that, strategically on the 6th day of January, having Donald Trump be officially confirmed as president by Congress, the same Congress who was trying to throw him in jail, the same Congress who all openly, the Democrats said they would not acknowledge that he's president, that they were going to do everything they can. Jamie Raskin, all these stories we heard about how they were going to not let him into office. Oh, they all just laid down. Or I should say they all just bent over because, of course, they're all working together. So how convenient on all days, January 6th, they do that while Trudeau resigns. And on that same day, Trump talks about forming the North American Union right in front of all of these conservatives who are supposed to be awake to the New World Order and their plans, and they don't even see it. The merging of America, North America, Canada, Greenland, soon to be Mexico, the Gulf of America, the United States Colossus, so to speak, that these people are going to be loving. The new Colossus, the Great Reset is underway, ladies and gentlemen. I thank everyone for being here. Make sure you're subbed to my other channel now. I'll have it linked below. It's called Nations Conspire, as well as my Rebel Call channel, which I'm not going to be uploading much on in the future because of the strike, but there's still content over there, and there'll still be potentially content as long as that channel does not get terminated. I might make a new channel soon, so anybody out there that's still listening, stay tuned. I'll keep you updated on that as well. Thanks again, everybody. It's going down. God bless all of you, as always, and your families.